Hey guys, I'm waiting to be shared into the group with Grace Creations. I'm in an event with them today that has to be with going back to school. And I'm waiting for Lindell to finish up, and as soon as she's done at 4 o'clock, I will be joined into the group. So if you are not part of Grace Creations group, then up at the top of my page, there's a link that you can go to join. Go ahead and join. There's going to be lots of different creators who are going to be presenting today, and so hang in there. And right at 4 o'clock, I will be going live. So I'm watching Lindell and with Lindell's Craft Escape as she finishes up. Hey Jessica, how are you? Are you sharing me into the group today? I'm in the group. Okay, I'll start right at 4 o'clock. Thank you. Appreciate it. Lindell just has a couple of things that she's going to finish up, and when she is finished, you can refresh the page if you're watching from Grace Creations. I love to watch Lindell. She comes up with such creative ideas. So she's got it right at the end. And we are going to get started. It looks like there have been several people who had the pencil idea. I have the pencil idea, and what I'm going to do, I have like lots of backups because I'm not quite sure how long this is going to take. Oh, that is so cute. So Lindell's trying to finish up everything, but anyway, so we're going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and hit the refresh button on my computer so that I can see y'all's comments. Give me just a minute. Come on in. Oh, maybe not. I don't understand why sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. Let me try it again. All right, hang on, y'all, so I can pull this up on my computer. Grace Creations. Okay, there I am. All right, I think I may have to just, instead of refresh the page, I may have to just go out and come back in. I don't know. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Come on in. Hey, Lisa, good to see you. Hi, Amanda, come on in. Good to see you again. Now, my original plan on Saturday was to come and finish a project that I started on Saturday and wasn't able to finish. And I completely forgot that I was, well, I didn't forget. I knew I had I was going to be in this event, but I didn't put that together with the other event. So I'm going to just show y'all this real quick. Thursday, I think, is going to be the day that I'm going to finish this. I'm going to just show you real quick. We started a beach scene, and then we're going to take and we're going to put the a stencil over this. But that is not what I'm doing today. So I'm going to bring in the crafts that I'm going to do for today. I've got a stack of stuff on my desk, y'all. It's time to clear it off. I've been doing so good with my new desk, and I need to continue. All right, so what we're going to do today is we are going to take a pool noodle. I haven't seen anybody do this yet, and I'm going to try and figure out how I'm going to get this in the screen. This is a long pool noodle. I got this at Target, and let me take the tag off of this. I really don't think this is going to take very long, so I do have some backup stuff in case I need it. All right, so we're going to take our pool noodle, and let me get this. Let's see where I can put this, where I can get to it. This is kind of bulky stuff, so you know, when I was teaching public school math, I always wanted, there was a place, wasn't online. I don't even know how I found it. I must have found it Couldn't have been online. I don't know. I don't even know how did we find stuff when we didn't have things online. There was a place called Think Big, and they had a gigantic pencil. And of course, you know, with being a math teacher, I used to always tell the kids, I said, you know, the first day of school, I told them, I said, you know, you're going to make a mistake in this class. So since you're going to make at least one mistake, I want you to use a pencil. And I challenged each of the kids, and I told them, I said, if you can go from, these were 13 and 14, sometimes 15-year-olds. I said, if you can go from the beginning of the year to the very end of the year without ever making a mistake in this class, when you're writing on your papers, I said, I'll buy you a brand new car of your choice when you graduate from high school. Well, you know, I never had to pay up, so I knew ahead of time that I wouldn't. But, you know, there were always those that tried, so I was always, I was like, hey, go for it. I had one boy, he was a seventh grader. He was the only seventh grader who was actually ready for Algebra 1. He was in my Algebra 1 class. And anyway, he ended up being a cardiologist. And so it was, and I mean, he was also the only one who ever took my, you know, you always have a first test and you have to get used to how the teacher is going to test, how hard they're going to be, if they're going to surprise you with stuff. Well, I always told the kids, I said, this is what I'm going to test you on. This is what I want you to know. And then I would put problems on the test to test if they knew what I wanted them to know. And he was the only student I ever had who made 100 on my first test. And then he made hundreds on all the others too. And he thought because he made hundreds that meant that he didn't make any mistakes. I said, no, you have to have no erasures. And so I was like, whew, that was close. I got out of that one. But anyway, it was fun. All right. So we are going to, I'm trying to figure out which direction I want to go. Okay, so I've got, this is going to be my pencil point that we're going to put on here. And I am going to, I think I want to cut it down. But before I cut it down, all right, this is where it's going to get scary, y'all. Because I'm just going to kind of trim the edges of this to see how far up I can go with this. And hey, Karen, how you doing? Great project today. All right, so I'm just going to just kind of shave this, y'all, and see what I can get. Because I want to kind of lighten up the, we may have to get a X-Acto knife. So we're going to cut this down. And like I said, I have plenty of other crafts to do if I need to fill in my time. So we'll see. All right, let's see if I can get this. All right, hold on. I'm not liking this at all. Hold on. All right, I'm going to try this. This is going to be scary, y'all. I do not need to cut myself and have to go to the hospital with stitches. It would not be the first time that this has happened. All right, so the idea is I want to get this further up into here so that there's not a whole lot of space in between there. So I'm going to just kind of shave this. I've never really worked with pool noodles like this before, so this could be, oh, there we go. This could be scary, but have no fear. I've got my hands out of the way. My son, our younger son, I think it's going to be pretty easy too, Sherry. I don't think it's going to be anything difficult. But our younger son was in Royal Rangers through the Assembly of God Church. And anyway, they had, what were they called? Cutting, what was it? Chopping card? A chopping card or something like that. Anyway, they had to take, they had to know the protocol for how to use a knife and anything that you cut with, and tomahawks, and X and things like that. All right, here we go. All right, so let me see if this is going to do what I want it to do. It's getting closer. All right, so the next thing I think I want to do, like I said, I really am not expecting this to take long, but I'm going to go ahead and paint that because obviously that is our, all right, let me get this out of the way. That's our pencil point. So I'm going to put some white paint on this first, and then I'm going to come back. I think I want chalk paint. I think I want to use chalk paint, and I'm going to use the color Fluff. So I had an idea in my head. Thanks for sprinkling, Lindell. Loved your project. You always do a fun job. All right, so let me... All right, I'm going to paint this kind of like, this is like almost like an off-white. I really need like a camel color. Hang on a minute. But I don't want it to be the same color as the, all right, that's cotton. I don't want cotton. Sandbar. I think Sandbar is a little bit lighter, so let me go with that, and I may mix these two. So let's see what we're going to get. I'm going to start with the white, and then I want to cut this down. We're going to put some lead on the end of this. And like I said, I'm thinking this would be a pretty simple, easy project that all of y'all can try this with your younger kids. They can paint. This is just a Christmas tree, a cardboard Christmas tree from Hobby Lobby, and kind of looked like a pencil, the top of a pencil. So my nephew and I were in my craft room looking at for stuff, and he's like, "Oh, this will make a great top of the pencil," and he's right. But we're going to get some paint on this. And then I want to make it so that it's a little bit more brown than this, but I just want to get a base coat on here first. And y'all have heard so many of my stories when I was teaching school. I loved it. I had so much fun working with the teenagers. You know, it's such a impressionable age, and you can really speak into their lives in a positive way. And, you know, some of them will remember you for life, either for good, bad, or indifferent. But, you know, I had a lot of kids that I stayed in contact with over the years, and saw a lot of them, you know, become really successful. That's always fun. And but it was what I was created to do, to teach math. And now God has me created to teach the different crafting techniques that I've been learning. I started on this journey, this crafting journey, in 2021, and it started with Chalk Couture. And then that just branched out to, all right, let me dry this. After I started with Chalk Couture, I wanted to learn more about art and crafting. And so that just branched out to learning a lot of different things. How to stencil with Essential Stencil. I've always crafted or, you know, done something. I learned how to sew when I was in the 8th and 9th grade. And so I made clothes. I mean, not like I designed my own clothes. I could follow a pattern. I can follow directions. I think that's probably the thing that's the biggest in my favor, is that I know how to follow directions. All right, so this is our pencil point. We're going to get this dry. I'm thinking that I want to cut like some jagged edges, but I'm going to do that last. I can feel the heat coming through this, which tells me that it's probably dry almost all the way through. All right, let me see what we got here, y'all. All right, it feels pretty warm. All right, so I think what I want to do, all right, let me get a pencil here. I think I have a pencil in my drawer. That one's, all right, so this is kind of brown. So, all right, so that's my base coat. So we've got a base coat. Now what we're going to do, all right, let's see here. This color here, this looks good. All right, let's take this color. This is called the color Sand. You know, we all know that that base coat just kind of helps. Now, you know, I probably could have left it like it was, but I think it's going to look better if I paint it. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me get a stick to stir this with. This is looking kind of thick, so I'm going to put some paint in it. But anyway, I started sewing when I was in the 8th and 9th grade, and you know, from there I made some clothes, and I always liked to, I could see an object or something like a finished product, and I could make it happen. I could copy it. And so I've always, you know, like made Christmas presents for family members and things like that. And, when I started, when God brought me on this, crafting journey back in 2021, you know, I was like, you know, I had to kick it up a notch, and I had to come up with my own ideas. And of course, there's inspiration out there. We go to Pinterest, you know, we look online, we go to Google. And, but, you know, there's a lot of creativity that takes place that is different than if you're just going to copy something and give it as a gift. And I made angels one time. I saw an angel made out of doilies. And, okay, this is still a little bit thick. And that was a lot of fun. You know, and I've always done, you know, some kind of craft here and there, but never on the level that I'm doing it with after having a Facebook page and going live, which I'm having a ball because y'all, I am learning so much. I'm learning how to paint. I'm learning how to do backgrounds. And all right, let me put that there. I'm going to dip in here, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and all right, this is going to be, I don't know, I just think it looks more finished to have it painted than to use the color that it was. And if I need it to be a different color, I can go over this. This is looking a little bit more like wood. Oh gosh, you know what? Too bad I didn't think about it earlier. I have a wood grain stencil. And that would have been really cool to put this wood grain look on here. But hindsight, right? Hindsight. So I was online and I saw somebody working with Chocateur stencils, and I thought, well, that looks like fun. And so I signed up to, you know, to play with Chocateur. And all right, so this is going to be our pencil. And you know, I just was like, I wasn't satisfied with just doing the Chocateur, and I branched out and started doing more and more stuff, and then got online. And all right, we're gonna dry this, and just started asking God to show me how to paint, teach me how to do other things, and He brought the right people across my path at the right time. All right, this is what we have. And so I'm still on this journey as long as he wants me. And now, you know, I thank you to Grace Creations and Sherry and all the hosts that and admin that run the group. I love everybody in this group and appreciate being able to just get on and be part of what they're doing. If you're not a member of the Grace Creations group, you know, be sure and hit the link at the top of my page and join the group so that you get notifications when people go live. There's a lot of talent in this group, a lot of variations, a lot of variety as far as everybody has something different that they bring to the table. And here I am, just keep learning new stuff. Whew, that's hot. That is hot, hot, hot. All right, let me put that down. All right, so let's see what we have here. I think I want to put like some little zigzags in here. Don't know how this is going to go, y'all, so hold on to your hat. Oh, gosh. All right. I'm going to just kind of like it's sharpened, like a sharpened pencil. Speaking of sharpening pencils, when I was teaching, I told the kids, I said, you do not have to ask me to sharpen your pencil. You need your pencil sharpened, you get up and you go sharpen it. You go sharpen it, because there's nothing more aggravating to me than to write with a dull pencil. I said, only thing I ask is that you don't hit anybody along the way or the way back, and, you know, you act responsible, and I'll treat you like you're responsible. And they'd get up and they'd walk across the room and go sharpen their pencils, and nobody got hit on the head or slapped in the face or anything like that. And then they'd go back and they'd sit down, you know. And I encourage the kids to help each other. All right, so this is what I'm doing. I'm just kind of making it kind of jagged so that it looks like the pencil's been sharpened. I'm trying to make it so it's not quite so uniform. All right, let's see. I'm going to kind of cut this piece over here. Okay, just kind of, I better test this and see how we're doing. That's looking pretty good. All right, that's looking pretty good, y'all. All right, so let me finish cutting this. I loved a sharp tip on a pencil. And sometimes I see people writing with a pencil where the lead is all rounded and everything, and I'm like, how do you do that? Of course, now we've got, you know, mechanical pencils that are easy to get a hold of. All right, let me take and I'm gonna cut this right here. How we doing on time? 22. All right, I got plenty of time. I got lots of stuff to do in case I don't, so have no fear. All right, this is what we have for our sharpened part of this. All right, I think that's going to work. All right, so now what we need to do, all right, let me take that off of there, and I want to get some black paint. We got to put a point on this, right? We need a nice sharp tip. So we're going to do that. Let's put this away. Sometimes it's easier to just snap it in there. That was the color Sandbar. If any of you are wondering, it is a Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint. All right, so we've got that. All right, let me get this out of the way. I didn't know you were here.
Yeah.
All right, so this is looking good. I think I'm going to put some glue on this, but I don't want to do it until I know that that's what we're going to do. So let me get a small paintbrush. Which one do I want to use? I am thinking a round brush maybe. Where's my round brush? This one here. So that we can... All right, let's try this and see what we get, y'all. I'm going to put this back. I don't need this. I need my space more than I need that sitting on my desk. And we're going to put a little bit on here. Not going to need much. Put our scissors away. All right, here we go. I don't know how far I should. All right, I guess I can always make it longer, right? Just making sure that you have enough paint on your brush that you get a nice smooth edge. Otherwise, it's going to look like you dry brushed it. All right, here we go. Probably gray would have been a better color, but here we go. Here we are, right? I should have been looking at my pencil. Well, it's not quite black, but you'd think all the pencils that I've used over the years that I would have known that before I headed towards this, but it's going to be black. So I always like to, when I see something that I think kids would like, I always like to recommend that, this would be a fun, either a going back to school party or a birthday party for someone who has a birthday at the end of August, or all right, so there we go. Look at that. Does that not look like a pencil or what? Oh, I love it. I love when a plan comes together. I might put 2 coats on this, so hang on. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. That in there. My eraser what I'm going to use for my eraser just flew off of my desk, so I'm going to have to get up and go get it. Oh, look at that, y'all. Doesn't that look like a pencil? Thanks for sprinkling, y'all, Carrie. Oh, and let me put another coat on this. Craft-A-Foreign Dreamin', Raven with Craft-A-Foreign Dreamin' is going to be on up after me. You are going to want to refresh your page and watch what she has to bring to the table, because she is really, really talented. And she brings something different to the crafting world, which is fun to watch. So when I'm finished, you'll just want to make sure that you refresh your page so that, oh my gosh, y'all, this is so adorable. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to put that there. I don't think I need anything else that's black, so I'm going to put that in my water and get this out of the way. All right, y'all got to hold on, because I dropped I blew my my paper off of my desk. I got to go get it, so let me put this over here. Hold that thought. I move pretty slow, so hang in there. There's one. the other end and put the eraser on next. This was not part of the plan. All right, here we go. Ha! All right, we'll get this guy out of the way. There we go. Make sure that's back so that we don't. All right. Here we go. All right, so the next thing that we need to do, we need to get that out of the way. Now, so at 6 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, Craftifornia Dreamin' is going to be on. And then at 7 o'clock, we're going to have Carrie with Funky Threads. At 6 o'clock, Funky Threads with Carrie. 7 o'clock, Country Creekside Creations with Shantae. All of these are like really, really fun and talented crafters, y'all. So you're going to want to hang in there. And then at 8 is Cindy's Craft Sensations. I'm going to get my cutter out. 8 o'clock is Buttercup Creation with Blakely. All right, I'm going to cut this. All right, let's see. And I want to get a circle too. Oh, I know. All right, hang on. All right, this is going to be our eraser. Okay, just a piece of pink paper. And at 10 o'clock is going to be Christy's Craft Cottage. And you're going to want to hang out and check out what all of these ladies have. Okay, I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to draw a circle around here. If you have a circle maker, you can use that. I'm just going to act, I do have a circle maker, but I'm going to act like I don't so that y'all can see that you don't have to have a circle maker or punch. You'll be sure to get the right size. All right, let's get my scissors back out, and we're going to just cut around this. This is not looking like it's round, but we're going to see what we get, y'all. I actually want it to be a little bit big. This is going to be the top of the 430, okay. The top of the eraser, the square part. Square. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, we're going to turn this upside down. This is why I'm not putting the tip on this first. All right, let's see if that's going to cover that. Oh, I need it a little bit bigger. Oh. Well, let's try that again. All right, let's see how I can. I'll just cut on the outside of this, give myself a little bit of space. I think I see why it's... All right, let me put this down here. All right, so I'm going to go and I'm going to cut outside of this just a little bit so that I make sure that I have enough room to cover the top of that. And I can always cut it down if this is too big, right? Okay, all right, let's see what we got. I'm just dropping stuff all over the place, aren't I? All right, let's trim this just a little bit here. Now, I'm doing this because I need to make sure that the top of the eraser is pink because it's not yellow. So just making sure. Cut this down a little bit. I have a friend who is like incredibly talented with cutting. All right, so that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, I better make sure that I've got everything I want before I do anything else. All right, so we're going to put this on here. This is going to go around this way, and we want to make sure that it's, okay, this is our eraser. And then we're going to put this on top. Maybe this will fit in here, y'all. Oh, you know, maybe it will. I think I'm going to go with my original circle. It's got a little bit of space, but all right. So now what I need to do, all right, I'm not gonna glue this yet. I'm gonna glue it all at one time because I want to make sure that I don't mess it up. All right, so that is there. All right, so the next thing I need, get this out of the way. The next thing I'm going to need, this is going to be my, you know, the metal thing that holds the, that holds the eraser in there. This is just like, duct work stuff. Oh, like dryer. It's like for your dryer, okay? All right, so I want to cut this back because I don't need all of this. So I'm going to cut some of this. See if I can get this cut. Ooh, we might be in trouble here. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, hang on. I got another pair of snips. Let's see if these work better. I need something that'll cut. This is pretty tough stuff. Oh, there we go. Where'd it go? I don't need to step on this. All right, I'll have to find it later. All right, so that's going to cut this. All right, so here we go, y'all. I'm going to cut this off of here. And I am going to, I think I only want about maybe this much of this. So I'm going to take, and I think this is going to be enough. I'm going to take and I'm going to cut through here. You'll see what I'm going to do here in a minute. Oops, I forgot this is a spiral. All right, so I got to cut this somewhere. Let's see how this is going to happen. I'm going to get back to the beginning, and then I'm going to cut this right about here. There we go. All right, I got to cut here too, it looks like. This is called your ultimate wing it, right? All right, so that looks, all right, we're gonna put this on here. I need to trim, actually I like this piece better. All right, so I like this piece, so we're gonna put this on here. All right. And that's going to go there. All right, let's see what this is going to look like, y'all. This is going to go here. And we're going to put this on top of this. Okay. And I'm thinking I can cut this down a little bit more. So hang on. It may not be done yet. I want to cut this a little bit more. So here we go. I'm going to cut one. All right. And I got to cut this part here. Now, I did not have duct tape is why I'm using this. And plus this kind of looked kind of fun to work with. You can use duct tape, and you can also, if you have, you know, like the real duct tape, that's like the shiny stuff, that would be even better. And you could just wrap the tape around it. But I didn't have any, and so I'm just going with what I had. And y'all can do the same thing. All right, now I'm going to cut this. And if I'm missing y'all's comments, I will go back afterwards and answer all y'all's comments. All right, that brings it back to this part here. So I'm going to cut this part right there. Okay. Just going to kind of size this up. Okay, that looks better. All right, now we want this, see how this is loose? And I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to glue this. So the next thing I have is I have a piece of this foam that I don't have to have it completely all the way around, I don't think. And I'm going to cut this down. This is just to act as a spacer. So I'm going to put this around here. I'm going to try and get that glued on there. Oh, that may not be. All right, hang on, y'all. I got to figure out. This is where it's going to get sketchy because I'm going to have to cut again. I really don't want it quite this thick. You know that thin styrofoam that you get in the mail with something? I want to kind of, I know it's scary, isn't it? I am going away from myself though, so that's good. I wanted about half this thickness. Kind of like filleting a fish. Any people who fish out there? Kind of what I'm doing. It's almost like I'm filleting a fish. I'm just going to saw and keep going until I got to make sure I go away from myself though, because I have a tendency to want to cut towards me. See, and y'all thought all I knew how to do was do stencils and signs. I like doing all kinds of stuff. Alright, let's see if I can get this. It does help to have a nice sharp knife too. I'm going to keep my fingers back though. Let's see what we got here. I'm trying my best not to cut myself, y'all. Chop card. I think that's what they had, was what's called a chop card, and it in the Royal Ranger program. And if you didn't, all right, let me get my scissors. If you didn't use your knife right and you didn't follow the cutting rules, they chop a corner off of the card. And if you lost all 4 of your corners, you lost your right to cut. I think you had to go back and pass the test again, or you had to take a break or something like that. All right. My son used to tell me that I would lose my chop card if I was a Royal Ranger, because I didn't go by any of the rules. All right, let's see if we can get this off of here. If I had a thinner piece of this, I wouldn't have to do this, but I'm working with what I have. I think flaying a fish is probably easier than what I'm doing here. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can get this around here. The idea is to fill in a little bit of space. I still don't want all this here. The idea is keep your hands behind the blade, right? Let's bring this up, see if that helps. There we go. Am I making anybody nervous out there? I'd be nervous if I was watching me do this, that's for sure. Yeah. All right, let's see what we got. I don't need a whole lot of space to be taken up. Let's pull that all the way back. All right, let's get this out of the way. How are we doing on time? Ooh, 44. This is taking longer than I thought it would. Here I had 2 other projects that I was going to do if I needed them. Oh gosh, well, all right, here we go. All right, let's see if we can get this on here. All right, I'm going to leave that space there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our eraser on here. Because we got to get this on here before we do anything else. I don't know what the hot glue gun is going to do to this. All right, let me do this. I think I'm going to put this glue on this end so I can get it straight. I want to get it straight first. Oh, it's hot. It's hot. All right, looks like we're going to do okay. Okay. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. All right, here we go, y'all. We're going to put this on here. Do a little bit at a time. I gotta have time because I was gonna put my name on it too. I was gonna. Ooh, this is hot. Okay, going around. Around. Okay, we're almost there. And then we're going to put some glue on the end of this. Should turn that down to low. Okay, all right, there we go. We got our eraser on here. Now we need to put this little guy. Where's the other circle? Here it is. We're going to put this circle on top. There we go. All right, so here we go, y'all. You know what? I just thought could be a little bit bigger. Maybe I want to put this one on top. You could actually put this outside. You could put welcome on here. Let's see here. Is that going to be big enough? That's a little bit bigger. I'm going to put this one on top of it because it's a little bit bigger. You could put, you could use this as a welcome sign on your front porch. That would be cute, wouldn't it? You could get like a bucket, or you know, a planter, and put like several different pencils in it. That would be cute. All right, so this is what we have so far. We haven't got our tip on here yet. This is that part there, and then we're gonna stick this on here. I don't think it's gonna stick to that, but I sure would like to try. All right, let's line up all the seams. Oh, that'll be good. I don't know if this is going to fit on here or not. All right, let's try it. The whole idea behind this thing is to fill in some space. So I'm going to cut this about right here. This is what you just say, just kind of following the project. We're going to cut this because this is a little thick here. Y'all still with me? All right. We put this here. And I put this over top of this. Idea is to pull that into place, and I think that'll work. All right, fingers crossed, y'all. Keep your fingers crossed. All right, I'm going to cut a little bit more of this off of here. It's kind of shaving it so that it fits. All right, all I'm doing right now, like if you had tape, you would just wrap tape around this, but I don't. So we're going with what we have. All right, let me get another glue stick. You know what? I wonder if it makes more sense to do it this way, because this looks like it's got a, yep, I'm going to do it that way. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is just a spacer, is all this is right now. Okay. Oops. I meant to bring this over. Oops, oops, oops. I want to line up my seams. I need to turn this back up to high so that I can get more out of here. Okay. Here we go. Just gonna dab some glue on here. I'm gonna hold that. I'll show you what we're gonna do next. We're almost done. Oh gosh, I only have 9 minutes. Yes, it would, Jessica. Yep. I don't have vinyl, but I am gonna personalize this. So I gotta hurry myself up here. All right, so here we go. We're gonna pull this over here. And this is gonna make this fit nice and snugly, is the plan. And we're gonna bring this down. I almost cut it too short. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here to bring this down. So it's kind of, almost did it a little bit short, but I'm going to be okay. I'm going to just make it. There we go. And then I'm going to glue this one here. You know, you could do like Mrs. Smith's room, or room, you know, for a teacher gift, room 131, or, you know, any of that. I'm going to kind of clamp that together. All right, so this is what we got for, oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, where's our pencil? Let's get our pencil part on here. Oh gosh, how can I show this to y'all so that I can show it all to you? Oh my goodness, I can't get it all in the screen. All right, hold on a minute. Oh my gosh, let me show you the bottom half. It's so big I can't even get it in the screen. All right, there's that part. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this. Good thing all right. Oh my goodness. This is so big. All right, here we go. We're going to put some glue on this end here. All right, here we go, y'all. I'm going to snugly that on there. Let that dry, get cool. All right, there's our tip. Oh my goodness. Let's see I can't even figure out how to get the whole thing in the screen, y'all. That's how long it is. There's the point. There is this. Hey, Berta, how you doing? All right, let's see here. All right, so now let's see. What do I have? Oh, I got 6 minutes. So hang tight. All right, so this is our pencil. Let me show you one end, and then I'll show you the other. I'll have to go outside to take a picture of the whole thing. So this is the eraser part, and then I can't even get I don't have enough space in here. This is the pencil part. This is a pool noodle. All right, now what we're going to do next, I hope I have enough time to get this done, is we're going to take some Talkator letters. I don't have vinyl, but I do have Talkator letters. And I'm going to, real quickly, I'm going to try and put my name on this. Let's see, I got 5 minutes. That's okay, Birdie. You can go back and watch the replay. All right, so let me get my scissors. I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut the J out. All right, there's the J. There's the U. Oh, here's the L. If I don't do anything else, I'll at least get some of these letters on here. There's the L. I is over here. The E is over here. And then I'm going to cut the I, and I'm going to just go all the way across and get the E, because I'll put that out of the way. And then I'm going to show y'all what I'm going to do so that I don't have to make sure that it's a perfectly straight line. I'm thinking I'm going to put them on here kind of cattywampus. J, U, L, and then that way I don't have to worry about them being straight. All right, here we go. What do we got? I got 3 minutes. I can do this. All right, so there is J. Here's, oh, there's U. See, if you put it in a straight line, you're kind of committed to make it look perfect. But if you do it cattywampus, then it allows for you to not have it perfect. L-I, right? And E. I have such an eye for things being straight that if it's not straight, it drives me crazy. But this, oh, I'm doing it upside down. Hold on. Let's turn this bus around. No pun intended. All right, let's try that again. J, U, y'all just wait. This is going to be so cute. L, I got 2 minutes. I can do this. I can do this. I, and E. And like I said, you could put welcome on this as a back to school, you know, whatever you call it, the welcome signs that you do. All right, here we go, y'all. Where's my paste? Right here. You watch. You just watch. Actually, I'm going to use this here. All right, here we go. Vinyl would be awesome. For those of you who have a Cricut, that would be awesome. Okay. There's J. U. L. Make sure you got a good seal on it. I. How am I doing on time? Oh, exactly 5 o'clock. I'm done. I got the E and then I'm done. And E. Ta-da! And we're done. And I didn't need the extra. All right, there's my name. Julie. There's the eraser. There's the point. And I'll have to take a picture of this outside, y'all, because I don't have enough room for in here. But there we go. We got it done. All right. Y'all have a great, y'all have an awesome day. Make sure that you hit the refresh button. And you're going to want to watch Craft-A-Fornia Dreamin' with Raven. Love y'all. Jesus loves you more. And I'll post a picture of this in the group. And I hope I've inspired you to try something fun. Have a great night. Thanks, Berta. Y'all have a great night. I'll be on tomorrow on my page. If make sure you follow all of those people that are in the comments. All right. Bye, y'all. Thank you, Grace Creations.